I had the great pleasure of talking to a Tolkien scholar and academic that I am not allowed to name for the sake of this video, their own privacy and general fears for their future career, well-being and safety. That's a sentence I never thought I would ever say in a video, so I've gone to great lengths to remove any references to the organization I'm talking about, to the person I'm talking about, and referring to them as them, they, because it would be very easy to find them. It's absolutely disturbing, and we're going to talk about it today. We had a very long sit-down conversation, and this is a very abridged version, and I made a promise that I would keep this to point. This person is genuinely upset, and a lot's been happening to them. They were a member and key member of one of the Tolkien academic scholar groups that anyone can join for a set fee every year online, and they were part of the higher-ups within this group. They pushed back against two things. One was the lecture that they were planning on not safe for work fan fiction, mainly focusing on minors, which is disturbing in itself. And then they rallied against another person. This person is a registered child offender. And they gave me the name and details, and this is confirmed to be true. But, problematic to bring that up, especially in this context of this, what they were planning. This group and a few others are splitting down the middle, because one side of this very big line are people that want to focus on the legendarium, the Tolkien work, the books, his letters, what's written. Another side wants to focus on fan fiction, fan theories, headcanon. The line is getting bigger, and there is this massive push and pull behind the scenes between these two groups. Some people are trying to stay in the middle and balance it out, but it's causing problems. The whole experience has left this person not only extremely upset, but in a way that they didn't think it would. The reason they can't be named is the fandom on one side of this, that want to focus on the fanfic and headcanon, are more activists who disregard Tolkien's work and view him as problematic. Some of these people have infiltrated the wiki, the fandom wiki and Wikipedia page, which have already been compromised. Particularly, any criticism of the Rings of Power is not allowed, even though there's heavy section dedicated to changes and criticism of the source material for The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits movies. All of them, barring the Rings of Power, which is interesting. This person has also stated quite openly that this divide is getting bigger and the internal struggles are causing a problem. In their own words, the certificates and all of that are not actually worth anything. They're made in Photoshop and Word and all of those places, and they're handed out like Smarties at a kid's party. Many of the courses that this person was involved from, in their own words, have no academic merit, background, and no actual relationship to Tolkien's work. The frustration has grown to the point that this person felt like they had to go. People within the group were causing problems for this person. In their own words, the activists are trying to take over. Everything is about gender, everything is about race, everything is about modern politics. We've seen that fall when people on Twitter, when people from the Unhinged Fellowship have crept their way into other Tolkien things on there, and a couple of the members have crept their way into certain groups as well. They also stated that for them, it got to a point where the situation was untenable. Passive-aggressive emails, accusations of transphobia, homophobia, and racism were thrown at this person, even though this person is far from it. The situation is bleeding into the other sides of the fandom, and this person also stated that there are people pushing for Rings of Power to be considered part of Tolkien's Legendarium, which we're already seeing within the fandom wiki and a few other pages as well, when it's a very loose adaptation of the appendices. This person is genuinely quite scared of some of the members of this group and other members, and particularly two of them, who I've had some interesting dealings with as well. But more people are looking for an out, and more people are leaving. This is a problem, and when these people are creating these toxic environments for people that just want to talk about the work and focus on the work that's in front of them, regardless of adaptation, regardless of fan fiction and fan theories and fandom, this is something we're witnessing, and we're only seeing the surface level of it, but internally a lot more is going down. Ultimately, the people that this person has talked about would destroy their academic career, would destroy what they do outside of this. They would dox them, they would harass them, they would destroy their lives, and that's something I've been on the receiving end on a much smaller level. It's an absolutely horrible situation. And these courses and these lectures and these pamphlets and handouts and online stuff is often created just to keep the activists quiet. Quite literally, in this person's own words, compromising academia just to make life a lot easier and to avoid drama. This is a very bad situation, and ultimately, I think this will be proving damaging. I've been let in on a few other things that I can't necessarily talk about, but there is a group of activists that want certain people out, that want certain key people out of this group, because you must support the current thing, and these people that they want out want to focus on the works that Tolkien wrote, and not fan fiction, and especially not erotic fan fiction. That is a thing. These people have crept in. One of the issues this person had was with another key member who is in this person's own words, a champagne socialist who comes from money and has a nice big house and several houses. It's causing problems because, as I said at the start, they view Tolkien's work as problematic. They don't view it as work in its own right, as a book. They view it as work that needs to be fixed. They view it as something because they're uncomfortable with certain themes, or evil cannot necessarily be evil, or everyone must be sympathetic, and this push to have the Rings of Power incorporated into the Legendarium. I can also say that Amazon have paid them money, as well as a few others, and that was part of the payment leaks. So there are certain people that are in Amazon's pockets that are getting paid to try and legitimize this adaptation. And some of these people are university professors. Some of these people are key people within the Tolkien community online. It's absurd and ridiculous at this point. It feels this very disingenuous. I think once money starts changing hands, that's it. That's when credibility goes on. The influx of modern third and fourth wave feminism, the influx of gender ideology, the influx of race discussions within these groups have alienated many of its key members and pushing more people out. Unfortunately, this is something we're going to see more and more and more. And more people are going to leave. More and more people are going off in their own direction because they're sick of being told what to think, what to feel, how to react. And if they criticize anything, they're immediately viewed as problematic. They're immediately viewed as the bad guy. There is a lot of fake academia online, and people that think just because they're a member of a group that you can pay to join, it's that they are the authority on Tolkien's work, and it's not actually the case. Many of these people the activists on Twitter are disliked by a lot of key members because they make too much noise and cause too much drama, but they can't say anything because it will cause drama in turn. It's interesting watching this go down, and it's very interesting how it's going. And my own experience with a lot of these people, they are rude, they are nasty, they have the reading comprehension of a ferret, and ultimately feel it's their job to police the fandom. It's This is not a healthy environment, and even people that are pro rings of power are beginning to get sick of it and get sick of these more vocal activists within these groups and other places. The academic side is being completely compromised, so it can be a focus on topics such as feminism and so on, rather than actually focusing on the works and the importance of the works. And as this person said to me, they view anything Tolkien wrote as problematic, that needs to be fixed, that needs to be changed and reinterpreted for modern audiences, stripping the Tolkien out, stripping the work of its meaning and definition, and also trying to strip the religion out of the work and insert themes such as sexuality and so on. This is a bad situation, and it's one that's probably not going to get any better anytime soon. And I will be in regular contact with this person because they have great connections, but also I've put them in contact with a few people as well, because in their own words, something needs to be done before it's destroyed. And ultimately, these activists don't care about the work, they only care about reinterpreting it to fit a modern ideal, inserting sexuality where there isn't any, inserting gender discussions where there isn't any, inserting race where there isn't any. This person also rallied against certain publications and certain articles that this place has produced, and ultimately, this is just a sad situation. So, this is my word of advice. Don't trust anyone on the internet. Don't trust these courses. I might disagree with your interpretation of work, but read it for yourself and interpret it. Read the letters, read the books, read everything else. Because these so-called academic groups are becoming compromised by Amazon money, by activists within it, and by members that make a lot of noise on Twitter and social media. That's being real. And this is just, don't trust these people. There are plenty ways. You don't need to be a member of certain societies and groups to understand literature. It's very simple. So, tell me what you think. I know this is a very abridged version, but I had to tread very carefully because I don't want to get this person in trouble. And I don't want to see them ripped apart by these shameless morons on the internet. I will talk to you guys later.